I've achieved 96 transformations like the same one you saw in the thumbnail here. Let me tell you why most men will not be able to go from 20% or above, obviously, down to 10% body fat. And it really comes down to one of two elements, which I'll break down and explain to you. The first element I want to tell you is that every micro decision whilst you're on plan counts. And you may think, it's not that deep. It's a few extra calories here that I overweighed. It's the one alcoholic drink. It's the 1,000 steps I didn't do. It's the 10 minutes of cardio I missed. It's the off-plan meal here. It's the 7 hours instead of 8 hours sleep here. But I'm going to tell you, all that has got to go. If you're serious about getting to 10% body fat, all that has got to go, and you want to be on it 100% of the time. The reason for this is, if you take every small micro decision where you fall off plan, every micro decision where you didn't quite do the thing that you needed to, what we'll do is it will slow down your rate of progress. Every micro decision will slow down your rate of progress. And because of this, understand this, you only have a finite amount of time where you are sensitive to calorie deficit. You cannot stay in a calorie deficit for your whole life and just end up with 0% body fat. The body just doesn't work that way, because the body is clever. It has a survival mechanism which essentially will keep you alive. This is why if you dieted for a long period of time and nothing's really happening anymore, even though you're on low calorie and high output, it's because you're cooked. Your metabolism's cooked, you've been in a deficit for too long, and the body is just not going to shed that fat because you've essentially taught it that you're going to starve it and it needs to hold on to that body fat, and that's why you can't drop it off. So you only have a finite amount of time where you are sensitive to deficit. Now understand this, when you start on your plan and you've put yourself in a calorie deficit of X amount of calories and you're doing X amount of cardio, you've only got so many weeks where you're going to drop weight at that point. So if you do micro decision, missed 10 minutes of cardio, micro decision, had an off-plan meal which you shouldn't have had, micro decision, decided to skip cardio, all of these things are going to slow down your rate of gain and your rate of progress, and you only get so long at that time on that amount of calorie deficit before you have to make the change. So a lot of you are not getting the full effect of what you should do. You want to milk your plan for as long as you can and get as much fat loss out of the input and output before you make a change. In practical terms, let's say you start off on a plan with me. I put you in a 200 calorie deficit, 20 minutes of cardio, 10K steps per day, and obviously your gym training. You start to drop a kilo week 1, you start to drop a kilo week 2, you start to drop 0.7 week 3. Now we're starting to slow down, but let's say you dropped a kilo week 1, week 2 you slightly messed up and you only dropped 0.5. Week 3 you went on and you dropped like a little bit, like 0.2, 0.3. At this stage I'm gonna have to make a change because you're not dropping enough. But because of the week before you didn't drop the full kilo which you could have, now you're not where you need to be in terms of progress and how quick you could have dropped a kilo. Yet we still have to make a change and we still have to repeat the process. So a lot of you are just handicapping how much progress you can make on a set amount of calories and a set amount of cardio before you have to make a change. Dieting is hard enough. You're going to end up on high cardio and lower food than you want to, even if you follow this to the T. So if you don't follow this to the T, just know you're going to be dieting for longer, you're going to have to diet harder, and you're not going to have the sensitivity to make that progress as well. Understand this as well. For the longer the dieting process goes on, the more chance you have of sacking it, of quitting, because you're going to lose the drive for the goal. Like, you're in a calorie deficit, you're in a negative energy balance. You do not have as much energy as when you first started anyway. So naturally, everything is on a bit of a handicap. Your training won't feel as good, your day-to-day life won't feel as good, your general zest for life won't feel that good, apart from when you're looking in the mirror, that will give you that second lease of life. And to be fair, in the very first few stages, you'll actually feel better than you once did. But let's say you're deep into the depths of a dieting phase. If you've messed around in the start or even midway through, you're going to have to go for longer and longer and longer. And you just decrease the chance of getting to 10% body fat, because more than likely your willpower will drain, your drive, your desire for this will drain, and you'll end up quitting. All because of the micro decisions you made earlier on in the plan. Whereas if you start the plan bolt rigid, you only stick and follow to the plan, and you're making sure you get your sleep, you've not used up any of the you've not used up any excess willpower in this early stage of the game. You're still fresh, you're still dropping. You've managed to get 3 kilos off without even needing to make a change. Then you make a change, you get some more weight off. Then you make a change, you get another another couple of kilos off. You've made loads of progress without hardly using any tools. So when you do need to drop those tools later on down the line, it's okay, because mentally in your head, you're much fresher to go and do this anyway, because you've not spent that much longer at less calories. So if you're at less calories for long enough, your willpower is going to drain, your desire is going to go, and you're just not going to get to the goal. You're going to quit. This is why most people just quit dieting. Like, I don't think anyone ever actually broke it down as to why people don't get there, but like, that is one of the main factors. It's the micro decision that you make in the start that slows down your rate of growth on that much food and cardio. That means you don't get as much out of that first setup. You make a change, you do the same again, you get a little bit more progress out of that setup, and you just end up on really low food and really high output really quick, having not made that much progress. So naturally that's only going to take you so far before you have to reset it, run a diet break, run a maintenance period for a period of time, and go again. Plus with the fact that you don't know if you can actually achieve this, because more than likely, if you're someone that's not got to 10% body fat yet, more than likely you're not the person that can actually get yourself there. Realistically, the only way I would say you want to try this to see if you actually are, for the very first time trying to get a six-pack, follow a plan, see how well you can stick to it. If you're the type of guy that just drops, you were going to get the six-pack anyway. But if you're the type of guy who's just not really that efficient at following things, you were never going to get a six-pack anyway, because it's hard enough as it is without your lack of adherence and your poor setup and approach to this. So understand this, every micro decision counts. Do not fatigue yourself early in the dieting phase. It's the equivalent of setting off too quick on a marathon and running and using all your energy and then having loads of miles left to go, and you've just not really got the bandwidth to push through it. It's the same way if like you needed to sit an exam first thing in the morning, but you went on your phone for half an hour, you had an argument with someone at home, you had to like solve a word puzzle or something, and then I make you sit the exam, you're gonna fail because you don't have enough brain points to take that exam because you just use them all on garbage. This is what a lot of you are doing in the early stages. That's the first reason why people won't get to 10% body fat. The second, which can kind of go hand in hand with the first point, is you just play all of your cards or your tools too early. Your tools when it comes to getting to 10% body fat are your ability to use calorie deficit through food and through increased output through cardio and steps. So for me personally, I'll never start you on low food and high cardio to begin with, because you'll still be in a deficit and you'll still drop off the little we put you on. So you start on 20 minutes daily, just 200 or up to 400 calorie deficit. When you need to make a change, you pull one, either cardio or food. Make that change, see the progress. Until you don't, make the next change, cardio or food, see the progress. And you keep playing it tool by tool, chipping away, tool. You don't need to go really low. You don't need to make these jumps really high in terms of like the calorie deficit, no more than ever a 10% drop off from your overall calorie target. And that way you get a lot of changes to the plan, because the body will adapt to whatever you put it on. So you always need to have room for progression, as in room for creating more of a deficit as you go through the phase. Because otherwise, you're going to have no tools left to play, and you're not going to be where you want to be in terms of body fat percentage, so you'll quit, and that's why you won't get there. Those 2 points hand in hand are the main reasons why people cannot go from 20% to 10% body fat and achieve the six-pack abs. Obviously, understand I've reverse engineered how we've been able to get so many results. We fixed both of those. So in the micro, and here's what I want you to do to take away from this. In the micro, you want to think about like who you need to now live like. The character traits of that man that can say no to the things he doesn't want to be doing. He can develop discipline. He can do the same thing day after day after day and not get bored because he's consistent. And he can keep digging when times get a bit hard because he's resilient. You also want to create the timetable of how you're going to live at every stage of the day so that nothing gets missed. You hit the plan, you hit all your markers, and you make that fast progress that you want to see and get down towards the goal. Doing that is what's going to get you to 10% body fat. Now, if you want me to do this for you and get the same caliber of results that you saw in the thumbnail, check the first link in the description. We'll get you set up and take you through one-to-one. If you want to do something where it's a bit more at your own pace, but want to gain all the knowledge that's inside my brain, there'll be a second link in the description. Go and check that one out as well. Thanks for watching as always, and as we turn up daily, I'll see you tomorrow.